طيب زي ما قلنا احنا طبعا انا بتكلم بالعربي بعدين بالانجليزي، الحين بارت حيخش معانا انه احنا بنتكلم عن السيلف ديفense، انه السيلف ديفense يتعدى مجرد انه هو كونه رياضة الواحد يدافع فيها عن نفسه او يقاتل فيها. انه السيلف ديفense الواحد يدافع عن نفسه بتقوية مناعته، هذا من انواع السيلف ديفense. الواحد كلين هايجين، النظافة الشخصية، هذه تعتبر نوع من انواع السيلف ديفense، وبالذات في ظل ظهور الكورونا فيروس. سيلف ديفense ان الواحد يقاوم نفسه في تلبية رغباته اللي ممكن تضره، زي الاكل الجنك فود والاشياء من هذا القبيل، هذه تعتبر برضه سيلف ديفense. السيلف ديفense في تقوية المناعة عن طريق تمارين التنفس مثلا، هذا برضو نوع من انواع السيلف ديفense. ويعني يتعدى منظومة السيلف ديفense مجرد انه هي قتال، هي عبارة عن فلسفة، اسلوب حياة تدافع عن نفسك ضد نفسك وضد رغباتك السيئة اللي ممكن هي تخلي الصحة تتدهور، بالذات في الأوضاع الحالية الآن اللي هي موجودة. وإحنا أخذنا معاه دورة في جدة من بضع أشهر، مستر بارت سمايث، وفتح عيوننا على أشياء كثيرة، على كثير من هذه الفلسفات، وهو يعتبر ماستر في علاجي في الأشياء هذه، وماستر تاي تشي، مدرب كونغ فو. يعني مرت عليه كثير من المدارس والتكنيكات والفلسفات، وبعضها الطبيه، لانه السيلف ديفense عشان نكون احنا عارفين بعض المدارس السيلف ديفense زي دانزان، اسلوب من اساليب القتال سيلف ديفense، في داخل معاه ممارسات طبيه، كان موجود من الاف السنين، سوري، من تقريبا 100 سنه. لما نتعامل هذا الاسلوب دانزان داخل فيه، عشان انت تاخذ حزام اسود في هذا الاسلوب لازم تدرس البريذنج، لازم تدرس مديتيشن، لازم تدرس كيف تجبر العظام المكسوره، الله يحمينا ويحميكم، كيف الطوارئ، الاسعافات الاوليه، طرق علاجيه، وبعض المدارس دخل فيها الطب الصيني وبيعلموا مسارات الطاقه. فهي السيلف ديفense احنا كنا نتوقع زمان او نعتقد انه هو مجرد قتال، وانا كيف اقاتل وكيف يعني ادافع عن نفسي عن طريق القتال. لكن اكتشفنا من بحثنا ومن احتكاكنا بعديد من المساتر وبالعديد من الممارسين انه الدفاع عن النفس السيلف ديفense هي منظومه اكبر بكثير، لدرجه انه في بعض المدارس يدخل فيها العلوم الفلكيه، وبعض الكتب علاقه الفلك بطاقه الجسد وممارسات التامل علاقتها بالصحه. ورجع معنا مستر بار سميث is back. Sorry, what happened was you're calling and you're put in the chat. Oh, so like me and you were only talking. Nobody was watching us on live. So
Well, that's
nobody,
fun.
yeah. So I'm gonna give you the mic again, and I'm just gonna say to everybody that self-defense is more than just fighting. And like some of the styles, like Danzan style, one Japanese, actually Hawaiian style, has medicine in it. In this martial arts style, has medicine. It teaches you how to fix bones and fix dislocated joints, and how to breathe, and how to meditate. And the philosophy of martial arts is huge. It's beyond fighting. It's defending yourself against viruses, defending yourself against hatred. You know, keeping that inside. You have to practice forgiveness. Practicing forgiveness boosts the immune system. Martial arts or self-defense, you know, maintaining clean hygiene, so you don't catch any viruses or diseases. Watching what you eat, eating fresh food and vegetables, fruits to boost the immune system. This is part of self-defense. And I'm gonna give you the mic to introduce yourself and tell us more about this subject.
Yeah, thank you. All the above, and it is true that martial arts is there's a wide variety, and there's absolute practices which build our systems. My personal approach has been internal martial arts, like I was saying earlier, and these build power from the inside, which then create an actual layer, what's called Wei Qi, on the outside of the body, which we were told many years ago, I can't make any claims about this, but basically it makes a wall of energy around you that makes it very difficult for negative thoughts or other energies or whatever to come into your system. So this has been my experience. I can tell you that I used to get the flu once a year, I would say. And after I began with my Qigong and Tai Chi practice, I think I've had the flu once in, I'd say 20 years, 25 years, something like that. I've had it one time, and it was when I got very run down, and everybody in my family was sick. I was taking care of everybody, and then at the end of that, you know, I was sick. But it didn't last more than a day or two, and you know, alhamdulillah. Right? So anyway, I wanted to just, with all these things, without having to step into the martial arts practice, I like to share things that I've discovered along the way that were weakening me, and these are simple things that we can change in our lifestyle, which are, well, maybe it's not that simple depending on where you live, but soaps we use, deodorants we use, shampoos we use, right?
Yes.
They have what's called sodium lauryl sulfate in there, sodium lauryl sulfate. And this has been known to lead to immune deficiency and immune disorders. And so we want to be able to clean our internal environment out, as Muhammad was saying, with the raw foods, juicing, good food, clean food, organic. If you can get organic food, is very important. But what I clean my sheets with is very important. Where my clothes are washed with. I've been a therapist for since 1992. I changed my career, and we saw people with lupus and other disorders that were using the toxic hair colorings at the salon that they were working at, and all these the ventilation wasn't good for the nail products and things like this. And we don't know, but we're breathing those into our system, or you are going there. And this woman became the first non-toxic hair salon in Las Vegas, and healed her lupus just by changing the hair coloring and the other products she was using in a salon. So again, we want to watch what we're cleaning our house with, what we're living in. Our clothing wants to be free from toxic chemicals. And the breathing exercise Muhammad was talking about, there's many. There's I like to share the Wim Hof Method.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, Wim Hof out of Holland. And now this is very interesting because he has many university studies that prove that he's able to actually ward off virus and bacteria by this breathing.
And he taught it to others, and it was working good.
Yeah,
when his students.
Yeah. I mean, you can get it on YouTube. It's WIMHOF, right? And Wim Hof, yeah. So these things are good. And then I live in Sweden. And I work in Dubai and Saudi a lot, and I know that the environments during the summer there, you're inside a lot, and you're going from air-conditioned car to air-conditioned building. And
may I just comment on one thing before you continue? I just want to tell everybody that a few months ago, I took your course in SBM.
Oh yeah.
Remember, here in Jeddah, when you came to Jeddah a few months ago, and really, it was eye-opening. This is when I started realizing that self-defense is not only about fighting, it's also about feeling someone's energy, about defending yourself against diseases. So I just wanted to point that out. شكله النت عنده بطيء. كلامه جدا رائع. دحين هكمل معانا هو بس النت. اتفضل يا. There you go.
I'm trying to signal from my Wi-Fi building. Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, that's good. I think.
My signal. Good.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, sensitivity. What we were discussing and what you were just mentioning there too is absolutely how to get involved with our own internal dialogue. You were talking about forgiveness and hatred and all that. Really, that all comes from within us anyway. And so, and that's the path of clearing in the martial arts. If you look at the karate with the white belt to the black belt, white belt. Well, we get to see how are we thinking, how are we feeling, yeah?
Yes.
And negative thoughts are very damaging to our system. We don't get that, but what we can do, like with the forgiveness, when I hear people talk about forgiveness, the biggest thing that I came into from my own experience was how to forgive myself. Right? I thought I could be pretty good about forgiving other people, but I didn't realize how hard I was on myself for different choices in life. You know, as we go along, we're all learning. So I, when I'm working with people, I take a point of view. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're cutting up a little bit, but it's good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I guess I would just like to share this once. You know, it's like what I say to myself internally, I can't always stop that or catch that, but I can see how do I feel. And if I'm feeling negative or angry or I feel like there's some type of hate or something, well, generally what the martial arts teaches us is that that sensation is going on in here. And my mind can make a story about what's going on out there that I then create an internal experience, right? Thought and feeling. And one of the benefits, of course, in training when we're talking about martial arts is you learn to train and you become confident in your body and your focus. And then there's less outside that creates a story inside as far as threat. But the more relaxed we are, the less threat comes too, because it's just how it works. So if what I found through my many years of practice was I was my biggest threat because I was very hard on myself and I hadn't resolved things that I could resolve easily just by saying out loud, I choose to forgive myself no matter what mistakes I make. And my first career was building, and the only way you build a building, you're always making mistakes. If you're not, somebody else on your crew is, or other builders are making mistakes. You're always correcting. You're always trouble. You don't sit there and cry over a mistake. You say, okay, this happened, got to fix it here. And that's what we do. But with myself, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, good. So, but with myself, I would sit there and complain about myself. I could have done a better job, and then I go, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm learning how to do this too. I'm a project in work. So, and really, it's just about improvement. So, taking that to the place of the immune system, when we have worry or upset, it creates what's called an acid condition. Acid condition is where dis-ease takes place. Disease meaning inflammation, infection, and then nowadays all countries are dealing with parasites, you know, not just the warm countries. So we want to approach the body in a simple form of circulatory health, meaning good water, right? Good thoughts, right? If I have a negative thought, well, that's just showing me, okay, maybe I haven't forgiven myself or somebody else, and you know, it doesn't do any good me to try to change other people. So I can only come back and do what I can to change how I respond to people. Again, back to the martial arts, right?
Yes.
So now I wanted. These are philosophical things on some levels. So they're time tested, and it's something that we can work with right away. Is to work with the system to alkalize, meaning you can be eating lemon juice, raw juices. There's a great book out there called The Medical Medium right now, and he's discovered the healing efficacy of celery juice and other juices. Very wonderful things that you can bring into your life with natural juicing. And so again, so if I'm building a step-by-step program, and that's what I wanted to offer to people. We can do the breathing and the meditation. Master Muhammad has his school, and Mind, Body, Soul has their programs there in Jeddah. They're wonderful. They really know what they're doing. And in these simple approaches to bringing focus to ourselves, and we see how we're feeling and thinking in the moment, then we can take that into our daily life. And what I saw was the more calm I could start my day, then I would not start stressing out. And stress causes a weaker immune system. So even with this pandemic that's worldwide now, if I'm afraid of it, it's going to be worse than if I'm calm and taking care of myself, right?
Yes, true, absolutely.
And there's a lot of different solutions out there, different using and finding, and I'm not a doctor, so I know that I've had quite a few people in Sweden that have home approaches, and other people in Dubai, they've made it through it. So it's a flu, but it's something that we want to support our body with. So I like to give my body verbal medicine, saying, yeah, my body's strong, my body's capable, I have good circulation, and I support it with proper food, rest. Sleep is a good one. And I think everybody, I don't know about you, Mohammed, but this COVID really slowed me down.
Yeah, I want to ask a question, if I may.
Yeah.
Could you explain to us how Qigong, because Qigong is like boosting your health, your energy system. How does Qigong boost the immune system?
Well, I'll tell you, why don't we do a little thing right now, and I could talk you through it, and everybody who's sitting here listening can hear it, and as we do this, we'll give everybody a chance to do the simple principles of that, and I'll discuss that while we do that. How's that sound?
Good, perfect.
Yeah, so this is something that is the foundational Qigong. Qigong is energy work. It's and works with the breath and focus. And we have vital points on our body that once we focus on these, our energy goes there. And where our thoughts go, of course, our energy goes, right? If I'm thinking about going to the beach, I go to the beach. I think about my work, I go to work, right? So now I'm thinking about myself, and if you know anything about Chinese medicine and acupuncture, we have many pathways of energy, and we have two main ones that are on our central line, governing in the back and conception in the front, beginning in between our legs, and they connect where the tongue presses on the roof of the mouth. So if I swallow, my tongue will stay on the roof of the mouth. So I'll invite everybody just to swallow, and we can sit as straight as possible and comfortable.
Extend this. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're on the floor like you were, you can stand. But standing, we could just sit.
I'm sitting. I'm gonna sit. I just adjusted myself. I turned off the AC too.
Okay. So we sit, and we have a point on our head top. If we drew a line from our ears to the top of our head, this point, the Byway Point, or the thousand meridian point, is where we visualize our head being pulled up. So that keeps our spine getting straighter and straighter. I swallow, my tongue rests on the roof of the mouth, and sitting or lying in bed, if you're lying in bed, you can do this too. As I breathe, I focus into my belly button, down below it, 3 fingers. So if my belly button's here, I come 3 fingers underneath. This point is a power point in Chinese medicine, referred to as the Dantian, but it's a power plane. And what happens is if I think there, my energy goes there. And in time, that energy will fill, and this is our life force energy, right? And we're all, plants have it, everything has energy. So these focus points that we're doing right now, the head top going up, so everybody can just relax a moment, and I'll talk about this, the immune system. So my head goes up, I look straight out, I pick a focal point, a target. Inhaling, my spine gets longer, the whole spine coming up, and the shoulders fall down and the head stays up. Smooth, deep, finding breath. Tongue resting on the roof of the mouth. I then inhale slowly, closing my eyes. As I exhale, my mind comes down my spine, down my belly, under the navel, 5 centimeters, 3 fingers underneath. If it's a new place for me to focus, I can just tap myself there. Even I've been doing this for 35 years, and I still sometimes tap myself there as a target point to feel it.
Yes, actually, one breath only, I feel calm already, just one time.
Yes.
It makes like, immediate effect.
Yes, it does.
Good.
And that's the beauty of this, is once we're really here focused, and say I have to get up, I just don't jump up to answer the phone. I take a breath, and I imagine that if my feet are flat on the floor, that the energy comes through my feet to my belly, my hands and my head, everything comes into my belly, and then I come up and I go. Otherwise, I might stop this river of flow going, and I just want to seal off my session. So let's just do this one more time. The head top goes up. I have a very acute focus, bringing my linear mind into it. So I look at it on the horizon, a target. I'm looking at the point on my computer. And then I let my eyes go soft and focus on infinity, and I close my eyes, mind coming down the center line to my Dantian, 3 fingers underneath the belly. Now here is where the Qigong comes into the thought process. Because if I'm sitting here focusing, I can hear everything. I hear my voice, I hear my thoughts, I feel my sensations, my spine's getting longer with each breath, my body's relaxing down. I hear my thoughts again, and I feel my body. Noticing everything, I'm not changing anything, I just noticed. And then I come back to my center, under the navel. Now, as I focus here, the energy's coming here. There's nothing I need to do except make myself comfortable. And this is the foundational Qigong. It's based on what's called Zanzhuang Qigong. That's part of an art called Yiquan or Yichuan. But this alone, right here, you can do this before you go to bed at night. I like to do it when I wake up. I inhale, my full body fills, I expand my joints, my spine's longer because I've been laying on the bed. Yeah, maximize that energy of rest and breathing. And then I bring myself to the center, and I come out of this process to present. Now, I can do this 20 days. If I finish with a client, I'll often stop and just do my Qigong sitting or standing. and bring myself present to the next move. Because stress can build and accumulate during the day. And again, we were talking about creating our environment. Well, I want to make sure that I have a clean environment, clean clothes, good hygiene, clean food, clean air, and
clean thoughts.
Clean thoughts. But
Yes.
the thing about it is, it's not about having the clean thought. It's about noticing when they're not. If I may say. So I had it happen the other day. One daughter graduated, and we celebrated it and everything. It was great. And then all of a sudden, the next morning, I was thanking God, and everything's wonderful. And then I started worrying about my next daughter. And I go, what am I worried about? It's like, but my mind went in, and I didn't realize I'd been worried about my first daughter. She did great. She didn't need my worry.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed that my brain right away, but it was the contrast. I went to comfort with her, and then stress over her, and I said, you know what? Thank you, God. I'm sure she'll do fine. And then my system, and so that's just what I want to say. We'll have contrasting thoughts. I just don't hold a party for the negative one. Did you have something else that you want to say?
Yeah. Just the Tai Chi. It comes under the umbrella of Qigong, as far as I understand.
It is Qigong. It's Qigong applied to Kung Fu. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Something I talked about last week, I would like to get your opinion about it. You remember when I told you the first time I met you, I told you how the yin yang applies to martial arts, like the black represents hard techniques, punches, kicking, choking, that we must practice the white part, which is the soft art, such as in yoga, breathing, Tai Chi. Remember when I told you that? So martial artists should practice both to maintain balance. Now, it crossed my mind last week, and I talked about this just recently. I was meditating, and I realized there are two types of meditation. There's the silent part with no moving, like static meditation, and there's dynamic meditation, like in Tai Chi. And in order for someone to have good meditation during the day, you should practice same thing. This is static meditation, like sitting here, closing the eyes, breathing, not moving. And this is dynamic, like in Tai Chi. So one should practice both styles to maintain harmony and have a good meditation session. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, yeah, it's in the Tai Chi world, we start in stillness and we take it into motion. And we take that stillness into motion and that connectivity into our dynamic meditation. And so, yeah, absolutely. It's in time that you practice these, your whole life can become that. You're always moving from the center. You're conscious about what you're doing and how you feel. Yes. And you need both. Yes, because you could do your meditation in stillness, but you get up and it breaks. So you want to be able to do both.
Exactly. And one more thing. I like to look at meditation. When I do meditation, I like to look at breathing. When I breathe, stomach breathing exercise or Wim Hof, as if I'm charging the battery that is located in the lower back, in the spinal, the root chakra, should we say. And that battery is supporting power to the mind, to the third eye, to be able to get lit. So I like to think of the body sometimes like the matrix, like a circuit, and I like to look at it, breathing to charge this area, charge this battery so I can supply power to the third eye. How do you see it?
I mean, I haven't had it said that way, but yes, that's a technique that's absolutely in there. So the sacrum is a very important pump, and it's also a very, very important brain. So anywhere we focus our breath is going to enhance that, and that's a very vital point. So yeah, it's going to feed that. I agree.
It's said that
Absolutely.
this area, the lower
Yeah.
backbone, this is where humans, that's what they say in Islam, at least in the Day of Judgment, they get reborn from this area. It's if someone takes a piece of this area and has the technology to analyze it, he might be able to know all the humans' history from this area. It records everything in the DNA. And I understand that when you try to activate Kundalini and you try to activate the third eye, it's like the third eye now is able to see, to look into the history, to look into the things that could be unseen.
Yes.
So that's amazing. I mean, I never thought of it that way, but you start to realize by practicing and seeking knowledge from masters such as yourself.
Yeah.
Really, one class of martial arts that we took here in Jeddah, how to sense the energy, and that taught a lot. That concept could be applied to different things. And then you start realizing there's a common ground and you start connecting the dots.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you talk about that, the thing about it is when we were more in natural environments, we were more connected to our parents, we were more connected to the earth, and we were more connected to ourselves. And in all civilizations, as they developed, we became less connected to the natural ways. And really, the martial arts is just the natural ways, redeveloping, reconnecting until that's just a normal state of being again. Which, when we're in the right natural state of being, we're strong and we're healthy, and and it helps to tell ourselves that too, right? Yeah. So there's another thought that, like what I was starting to say about the air conditioning and the cars and stuff like that. We have little batteries in our eyes, and we need to have those charged by the sun 16 minutes a day. So I myself, when I worked in your lands, when it's really hot and humid, I had to get up a little earlier in the morning to get out while the temperatures were nice, or before it was too hot before the sun went down all the way. I'd go to the beach and stare at the beach in Dubai and stare into the sun as it's down, not when it's up. But
yeah, of course.
And get those motors and batteries charged, just like you're doing with the breath and the Kundalini and all that. Yeah, we have these mechanisms. And the other thing is I'd like to share is connecting to the earth with our feet. There's a process called earthing, where he was actually a computer technician, moved up to Alaska where everybody wears shoes all the time, and he got very sick. And he thought, well, when I set up systems, everything has to be grounded. So walking at the beach barefoot, they have ways that you can get sheets for your bed that you can sleep in the earth's energy, shoes. But anyway, the nice way to do it is to go for a walk with your family after COVID, I guess, but walk in the ocean water, get your feet onto the ground, wet grass in the morning. The Taoists do that, the Zen walking meditation. Connect to the earth, connect to the sky. Yeah?
Perfect. That sounds wonderful. And should I just add one more thing also?
Yeah.
I love that you said that, because you reminded me. I haven't done this practice in some time, the grounding. Thanks a lot for reminding me for this. Really appreciate it. Also, it's one of the thoughts when I was doing meditation, the baby, when he's inside his mommy's stomach, he's aware of his creation, aware of his father's voice, mother's voice.
Absolutely.
By the third eye. And something has to do with the stomach breathing exercise to reactivate this. Once the baby is born, his breathing is in and out through the stomach. The stomach is involved, not only the chest. As he grows up, this starts not to work as much. He's not relying on the stomach anymore. He's more of a chest. And henceforth, the third eye starts to get weak. It doesn't completely die. it's there, but really little, small. So I figured once you start doing breathing exercises to boost your meditation, when you're doing stomach breathing exercises like Wim Hof style, you start regenerating power for this third eye to start to open slowly by practice and practice. I mean, it might take years for some people. It might take years. Buddha stayed like 7 years meditating under a tree just to start getting enlightened. And then years after that, he started writing his Dharma. It took him a long time, and he's living in an open area, no industries, no airplanes, no cars, no cell phones.
Yeah, cell phones. Yeah, that's a big one too.
Yeah. So, this is good. We're seeking knowledge all the time.
Yeah, so we're in the modern world where we have these other challenges, which the cell phones are one of them. And I'm glad you mentioned it, because that actually starts working on the third eye gland, to the pineal gland, looking at these screens. And basically, they've seen that if you stop looking at computer screens and cell phone screens 2 hours before you go to bed, minimum.
Okay.
Have a deeper sleep, because that's where the melatonin is developed, and there a lot of documentation on that. You can look that up. And they have glasses. I have all my kids have these blue blocking glasses, and then also shungite for the frequencies. And these are very important too.
Thanks for saying that, because that's one of the things that we do. I didn't know. I'm like on my phone until the very moment when I'm sleepy, then I just put it away. And thanks for reminding me with this.
You're welcome. I got addicted to YouTube.
Yeah.
And I realized my sleep wasn't good.
It consumes energy. It sucks up your energy.
Yeah.
Drains energy. That's good. What other advices you might give us?
Well, have fun. That's the other thing, is that we have this time on the planet together, and so often, I know I did it myself, having a family and children, you get focused on the necessities to organize your business, your life, to support and all that, but for many of my clients and myself, we wind up not being with our families. And that's the most precious gift we've got, right?
Yes.
So spending time with the family and those that you love, and learning to play games again. I've brought that into my life. Frisbee with my son, soccer, all these different things that move the energy, give you fun, give you connection. This will naturally get these powerful hormones going in the body that also are very immune system building. And music,
very important. Very important you say this, because some parents, like the strict parents, beating up the children, not playing with them, not acting like a kid amongst their children, they don't know that actually gives them more energy and more life when you are around children playing, instead of beating them up or being too strict on them.
Well, I like that you said that, because my generation, my father was quite strict, and I respected him. And the funny thing was, nowadays kids can say and do things that it was really challenging for me, because I wouldn't even think of saying or doing the things that some children will do nowadays, my children anyway. But then I started seeing maybe there's another way. Maybe the times have changed.
The middle way. The middle way is the best way.
Exactly, the middle way. It's not that I don't discipline my children, but I don't discipline them with anger.
Exactly.
I don't have to get angry, but it was a transition, because my dad got very angry with me. And so, I would sit there and I'd feel, but luckily by the time I had children, I'd done Tai Chi for many years, and I knew anger for me always came when I didn't know what to do. And being a parent, you know, nobody gave me a book on how to be a parent. I know the difference between right or wrong, but I didn't know how to be there for my children in certain ways and to guide them to their own guidance system. And that's the funny thing that happened with my daughter, because my daughter, we had challenges when we came from the States to Sweden. There were language and social problems that she went through, so she didn't really like school, although she excelled at the end. There was a lot of problems, and I did the discipline out of fear, you know, with her. And then I saw that the more I was trying to get her to do things, the more she dug her heels in, and I thought, well, that's how it is. The more somebody tells me what to do, I don't do it too. So, right. So I said, okay, I give, and I just watched her and I supported her, and what I saw was her intelligence took over, and man, she's got it all. She's got the university. She got a full scholarship to a university in Switzerland, and I'm going, all my worrying and all my discipline, what I turned it into was being there and being present and actually connecting with her and listening to her. And then that softened. Yeah. The soft way, the middle way.
Exactly. Actually, and if I may point out how martial arts and the study of martial arts boost these fundamentals, if I may say. I've been writing an encyclopedia in Arabic about martial arts from the dawn of history until nowadays.
Oh, nice.
It's been taking me like 2 years. And then you realize when you study martial arts, you're not only studying what karate means, empty hand. No. When you study martial arts, it's open gates for you in many different signs. Like you study the history of the country, you study the wars that happened, revolutions, how this style was affected by such movements, and the philosophy of religion, the philosophy of the style, the cause, how some styles are, I would say, authentic, and some styles are a mixed, like hybrid between two styles. You study medicine as well. So when you start studying martial arts and searching in their history, you start seeing many things. It's a way of living. Literally, it's a way of living.
Yes.
Knowledge. You get a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, and you know, for people like you and me who we found this early on in our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that it can be daunting for people to look at the martial arts, but it's a path of self-investigation. And that's what we're talking about here today. We investigate our thoughts. And in martial arts, we investigate many different things: our coordination, our relationship to the world, and our relationship to ourselves in the world. And this is an ongoing thing. And so, you know, people would say, well, I don't want to do martial arts. And I would say, well, Kung Fu means good practice, right? So if you're enjoying whatever, cooking, oh yeah, that's, you know, what a martial art. And hopefully you marry a martial arts like that, right? So male or female, whatever. But anyway, it's really what lights you up, what touches you and brings you joy. That's the funny thing about it is, you know, I work all the time. I work with people on their journey to access and find that. And one of our courses we do is about life purpose. I'll just share this real quickly. This woman came to us and she wound up having breast cancer, but she had sat and watched TV and eaten potato chips. So that's one thing I want to say right now. I want to get this out for your lands. For all lands, it's known everywhere, but potatoes have the most pesticides in them of almost potatoes, carrots, and strawberries. If they're not organic, you've got their little pesticide bombs. And if they're
potato chips.
Potato chips, they put different chemicals on those nowadays.
Yeah.
They're going to cause a lot of obesity and diabetes and things like this. So, yeah, now I lost my focus.
No, you're
But
talking about eating organic, not eating
yeah,
chips, toxics.
yeah, I know, but I was going someplace else before that. Oh well,
Yeah.
it'll come back to me. Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. The woman, she was eating potato chips and she was drinking red wine at night, every night, having a glass of wine, and she raised her kids. Then she came to our course on what to do with the rest of your life, and she saw that she was a comedian.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy that was running the course said, asked her, and she wound up after that course. She found out she had breast cancer, and she went into comedy, and then she went into corporate comedy. Then she went in and she started the first comedy club in Houston, Texas, owned by a woman. And then
Okay.
she wound up on Times Square with all these famous comedians. But the cancer just she didn't have any problem with it. Now I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
saying comedy is going to heal your cancer. I can't say it heals anything. But what
Yeah, I understand.
happened? The energy started to flow. The more she did what she loved to do, the more she discovered who she naturally was. And I mean, I trained with her. I went and trained with her. We did a month-long training in comedy, and I got in trouble for being a comedian in school, but we actually wrote comedies and performed them, and we had a ball. It was like he was the real deal. And so the martial arts opens you up to that. You have more availability through your mind and energy connection, then you can sense more, and your guidance will take you easier there.
And flexibility. Flexibility is not limited to the flexibility of the body.
No.
Flexibility of the mind also. I always like to give this example to my students. Like, imagine there's a lock and you're trying to open this up and you pull in so hard, you're going to break a finger, you're going to break the lock. Instead of pulling so hard and using all that aggression, you can push in, twist, and open easily. I tell them,
Wallah, that's a great
yeah,
one.
I tell them if you come to a door and it says pull and you pull in the door but it's not opening, try to push it, bring it up a little bit, and then pull, then it might open. So that flexibility of mind is also important. Martial arts teaches you such things. When I started martial arts when I was young, doing karate, growing up, it was all about being tough, masculine.
Yeah, yeah.
And we saw nothing with that philosophy. We saw nothing of the science, energy science that is
Yeah.
involved in the gestures and movements that you're doing. Like you're cleaning your hair, you're cleaning your chakras. When you're doing this, get ready to move, to
Exactly.
execute. And then you started reading and learning. Then you discover martial arts is a big gate to a lot of things, a lot of science, not only just fighting.
Oh no, that's the last.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, that's what my teacher told me when I came to Tai Chi, because it is a martial art. But as I was questioning the philosophy of the softer arts, he just said, if you're thinking of this as a fighting system, you're 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. It is, but there's much more. And I got very humbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tell everybody should do martial arts. Women, they say, I'm not going to fight. Why should I do martial arts? You're going to learn some other things. And you'll be able to defend yourself, hopefully. Having that
fun.
confidence, having that confidence boosts your immune system. When you have confidence, when you feel
Yeah, because
healthy.
you're not crushing your lungs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More confidence, better immune system, better breathing techniques, better flexibility, practice, knowledge, energy.
And the other thing is,
Wonderful.
some people look at it and they could think that it's frightening because they can see maybe the fighting on TV or something like that. But I'm taking karate again. I took it when I was young. I'm taking it with my 11-year-old boy, and I'm out there with kids. Of course, I'm the oldest guy out there. I got a lot
I
of
enjoy it. You're enjoying it.
just have a ball, and I feel like a kid again. And now my son and I play all the time together. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Nice. God bless him. God bless you. We
Thank
got
you.
a few minutes before we go out of time. We got a few minutes. Would you like to say anything in conclusion? of this wonderful meeting. Really good.
Thank you. Yeah, well, something came my way the other day, and I knew about it, and it's in all the health books. I just hadn't involved myself, and it's turmeric, and there's a thing called golden milk, and I just gave it to some of my clients. I discovered this about a month ago through friends of mine. Actually, I discovered it a couple of years ago, but I'm lazy. It's something I have to fix at night in a drink and have the right ingredients, and I just didn't do it. But after I read this article about it, I started doing it, and my sleep deepened fantastic. And so I would just invite everybody to look at golden milk. And turmeric helps the body with inflammation. And again, inflammation, calm mind, calm breathing. Even if it's deep, full breathing, it's steady, and there's a calmness that comes with that focus. So that's something I would like to give.
It's true, good.
And there can be more. I mean, there's lots more, but this is a good start. I think this is
good. Well, in conclusion, I also like to say that this coronavirus, for us martial artists and practitioners of yoga, tai chi, qigong, energy stuff, call it whatever, has taught us a lesson, has actually made us, I think, stronger, able to have some free time to read, recollect ourselves, learn new practices, learn from masters, read some books, boosting our immune system. So turning that negative into positive, just like when you recycle items.
Yeah.
You recycle items, they could be thrown away for trash. You recycle them to make them something useful. To enhance your abilities and enhance yourself. So we would like to remind everybody about this before we end the meeting.
Absolutely, I agree. It's been a blessing for me because I travel a lot, teaching and working, and to be here again. That's why I say the family. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You get time to really improve everything. So yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for everybody who joined us tonight. I'm going to save this on live for 24 hours. Thanks for Master Bart Smythe. Really good advices and good talking with you.
Nice to see you.
I hope to see you soon. That's what I gotta say. I hope to see you soon and take another course with you here in Jeddah.
Thank you.
I'll be looking forward. I'll
take it with you. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
God bless. Bye bye. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.
طيب مجموعة، أنا كان ودي إني أقول إذا في أسئلة ولا ما أسئلة، بس هو الانستغرام بيعطينا ساعة، بعد ساعة بيصل لوحده، فأنا حفصل قبل ما يفصل هو علينا، وبحفظ هذا الشات في اللايف، وإذا أحد يبغى أي سؤال يسأل في المجموعة هنا في SBM. كان معاكم الكابتن محمد عباس الهوست حقكم، ومش عارف أطلع من اللايف زمان ما دخلت لايف، يعني ما دخلت أنا المستضيف يعني. فكان good. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.